Jesse's sister, and we're reading Saturnastra Karina, Lesson 5, Part 3, the Petite Malices. Virka, who was at the table at the moment, whispered to Karina, "That is not how I came to be. My father was a tornado and... My mother was a tornado and my father was a tennis racket. I was born in a baseball field. It was November and the daisies were starting to migrate down south to be with the lily pads." Everyone just ignored Vinka's nonsense. Marduke...
Am I being card?
What the hell are you going on about? Stop.
Okay.
Nobody's perfect except my lovely sisters. That is saying, Marduke pointed to Karina. Hair like obsidian, teeth like pearls, and skin soft like butter. To be with her is to be with me and the rest of my siblings. So tell me, what is your intention with my sister? Why are you here? Don't you have anything else to do with your time? You have come this far, so now you must come through me. So it is like the brother threatening the student that came into the house. "And me," said Vinka. "And me," said Canon, assuming his pink form. "And me," said little Inanna. Lucian got up and he ran for the door, but Canon blocked the exit. Purring, he said, "Meat. Are you this much of a coward? Come sit, eat." Since Lucian did not return to the table, Canon moved out of the way to allow him to pass. Back at the dinner table, Marduke said, "What a bother. Your little suitors are starting to become a pest." "Oh, yes, indeed," said Karina, sighing. "I don't know. I just enjoy my peace a little too much as of lately." "Yes, and outside weirdo must always spoil our fun," said Canon, sitting back down. Like the others at the table, they pretended not to notice that Lucian was still lingering. He had hidden behind the door in order to eavesdrop. Indeed, he had come farther than any of Karina's would-be suitors. "But you forget, my dear Canon," said Marduke. "You used to be an outsider yourself, not part of my inner circle." "Hardly. You like weirdos, don't you?" said Karina, pointing to Canon. "At least it's not boring. But I still have a bit of a grudge from that time you smashed my brains against the asphalt," said Marduke, reminiscing. "Ah, those were nice days indeed," said Canon, lying down and resting his head on his paws. Lucian lingered there for some time, listening to people talking trash about, listening to them talking trash about the human race. When he couldn't take it anymore, Lucian started looking through Marduke's apartment. There were plenty of curiosities, but all the items on display were things that already existed in Veragerung. Eventually, he found his way into Karina's room, so rather than leave the creepy just looking around the house, like creepy suitors normally do, he guessed it was her room based on the plants on the balcony. Lucian had heard from his father that by studying the furniture, one could learn a lot about the person. Even if the furniture followed the latest fashion, if one looked close enough, there was at least one item at the place that stood for the truth. If one found such an item, a shopkeeper might be able to manipulate the client into spending more. Lucian indeed did look about, and the item seemed ordinary. He sat on the bed and he felt them move a little, which was odd. It was a waterbed. Lucian had only seen a couple of them, and they were found in clinics for invalids or patients with chronic pains that could not lie down on a regular bed. They also prevented the formation of bed sores. His great-grandmother had one of such beds, and Lucian used to lie down beside her under the pretense of keeping her company when he really just wanted to lie on the waterbed. The waterbed told Lucian that Karina had back problems, or was a daydreamer. The following item that caught his attention was a miniature. It showed a bunch of identical-looking children, with two adults that could not be any more dissimilar. The lady had the face like one of those royal courtesans. The other fellow had his face hidden in the shadows, but based on his attire, he was a magic user. Lucian picked out the photograph. He felt a shiver down his spine, and then he heard a familiar voice telling him, "What are you doing here, Lucian?" The lower voice made Lucian drop the picture, and since Lucian knew that listening to voices was something only crazy people did, Lucian proceeded to ignore it. Do you think Cafe Rose will be interested in a pasty-faced, sniveling, sly-faced weakling like you? Asked the voice. Why do you even bother? Forget her, an old woman. You should be focusing on learning magic. With magic, even a vain such as her will respect her. Will respect you. I don't care if she doesn't respect me. Respect has to be earned, not demanded, said Lucian, remembering one of Karina's past ramblings. He picked up the broken pieces of glass and he then threw them in something that resembled a garbage can, due to the crumble of papers inside them. Lucian then turned the little miniature around and he noted the names. Each name corresponded to the face on the other side of the picture. The face corresponding to Karina was just as silvery and pale as the others. Pale. Lucian imagined that the picture of the monochrome was a type of monochrome lithograph. Indeed, everyone was in color, but then it had faded over time. After looking at the photo, Lucian appraised the item he had broken. He brought out from his pocket a couple of golden coins. After rummaging a bit, he got interrupted by Karina, who asked, "There you are. Sorry I didn't see you," and he said, "I accidentally broke your picture frame, but I already paid for it," said Lucian shyly as he started to depart. "Wait, you're going to miss the coolest thing I have in my room," said Karina, holding a half-moon-shaped wooden box. Lucian drew nearer, and he saw that it had a stylized person's face and some ornamental patterns on the hair. Smiling, Karina said, "This is called a Cuba box." "Why is it called Cuba?" asked Lucian. "It's a Cuba with a K." "I don't know. If you open it, it is just like any other trinket box, except that it is made of rosewood. See? Don't it smell nice?" said Karina, holding the box closer to Lucian, who smelled it over the top. "Yes, you have a very lovely box indeed," said Lucian flatly. "Let me open it for you," said Karina. The crescent moon of the box opened, and from within floated a tiny little planet. Lucian stared with eyes open wide at the tiny floating world. Not understanding what it was, he reached to touch it. His hand was repelled by an unforeseen force. Karina laughed at his shocked face and said, "What, are you, a toddler? Did I say you could touch it?" "Sorry," said Lucian shyly, feeling rather stupid. He asked, "What is it?" "It is a world with rivers and trees just like the one in this world," said Karina. "Did you make it? Are you a god?" asked Lucian, surprised. "No, don't be stupid. It is just like anything else, really. If you have the ingredients and the proper tools, any person can make their own little tiny world," said Karina. "Still, it is a lot easier just to take an existing world and make it habitable. It saves a lot of water and iron." "Is this what you people did in this world?" asked Lucian. "Not really. We are just standing in the shoulders of gas giants. And I mean that in the metaphorical sense, dear Lucian. To be with me means being part of my family and being burdened with the truth of the world. I am not as my brothers. I do not want a plaything, someone to pretend to be something I'm not. It gets so tiresome after a while. So tell me, Lucian, do you want to know the truth of this world or not?" asked Karina. Lucian was thoughtful for some time. The voices at his head told him to go for it, for the spirit that haunted him was extremely curious about wielding godlike powers to create a world in his image. Signing, Lucian said, "If we are being honest and direct, then I suppose I wanted to try the whole dating thing that is so popular with kids. I wanted to get to know you a little better and maybe, but you know, and what if we happen to enjoy each other's company, then maybe we will get married. You want a husband, and I feel like I am a bit too young to be thinking about marriage." "Coward," said Karina, closing her Cuba box. She had quite a content look on her face. "Time?"
5 minutes.
Lucian saw himself out, but as he was leaving the building, he felt a bit dizzy, and when he turned around, he saw the spirit that was haunting him. The spirit was struggling to get out of the building. Karina with her brothers were punching and kicking the spirit, while their shadows crawled around him. Her brother yelled to Canon to get Shalom before the scene escaped. Canon flew out the window in the form of a bolt of lightning. Canon had the elemental form he rarely used because it drained too much of his power. Still, he would turn into lightning when speed was required. The person known as Shalom was there within minutes. He materialized from within a pentagram. To Lucian, Canon resembled a gypsy dressed in green robes with a scythe. Cheesy was a term coined by Bersamet to describe a certain wandering merchant family that looked a certain way. Shadow was carrying with him a strange-looking sight. The sight was used on the spirit, and a shell grew around it, and then it manifested in the physical world. For the last couple of years, Karina had been working over Lucian to get the ghost that was following him around. Had she asked Lucian to visit, the spirit would have gotten all paranoid. Lucian was quite confused by the entire scene, especially about the fellow with long black hair and gray skin with red eyes. Both fellows looked at one another with confusion. In the end, Lucian decided not to give it any more thought, and so he just went home to deal with normal problems. Alright, so that's the end of this lesson. Bye bye and God bless.